Pleasant good morning to you, students. Good morning, good morning, good morning. One and all, welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today is Wednesday, the 4th day of June 2025. Welcome, one and all. Welcome. Hope you had a good, restful night. Hope you're looking forward to a productive day and week ahead and months ahead, of course, years ahead as well. So welcome to this episode. Share the live. Let people know that we are here, ready to go, ready to give you the credible, valuable information. Wednesday, the 4th day of June 2025. Another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. Because as we continue to say, it is a privilege to be in the land of the living. So many would not have made it. So we have to feel privileged to be here. And it's only by the mercies of God that we are here. So share the live. Let people know that we're on. As we know now, by now, my colleague, Mr. Conway, is in the studios. He's ready to go. He's ready to rock and roll. As he will say, let's get it on. Ready to do God's work. That is what he will tell us. And so far, no technical issues with him. I had some technical issues this morning. I can't explain, but the usual thing is kicked out of the studio. And when I got back in, the first 137 students who were in the classroom making comments were struck off. 137. I've never had this large a number struck off before. But I had a record of who those people are. So we're going to do the roll call. And I implore you again to share the live, and give us the thumbs up. We have over 500 students in the classroom, and we are up to 18 thumbs up at this stage. Not good enough. So do your thing, and we will do our thing. Share the live, as we said, to let people know that we're on. By now, the regulars know, but I'm always pleased to see almost every day now we have some new persons who are commenting. That is not to say that they are new in the on the program, but perhaps they have found the courage now to comment. Just to say a good morning or hello, something like that. But the atmosphere in Guyana is of such that even that people are scared to do, even to come on a program such as this, and all they would do is say, good morning, Mr. Slower, good morning, Mr. Conway, or just good morning. And people are scared. That is the atmosphere in which we live in Guyana. The program was scheduled at exactly 7 o'clock. I think I understand now how to get it scheduled at the exact time. At exactly 7, and immediately students were lining up to get into the schoolyard, lining up. And of course, once we opened the doors to the school a while ago, they are pouring in up to 600 and counting. So yeah, share the live. Let them know that we are here. And let me run through, as I said, we're going to run through the roll call. We're going to do the announcements. And then we're going to get into the program, to the meat of the program. The first 137 names that will be called is not going to be displayed on the screen because they have been struck out from the comment section. But I have a note, I keep it a record of those who are here. As any good teacher, schoolmaster, headmaster, what you want to call it, we do, I have a record. And when we scheduled at 7, the first person in was Ezzy, and Ezzy Azur came, followed by Lucius. You're here very early this morning at 7. Peter Noons, Clarence Hudson, Evelyn, Marcia, Sean came in. They all came at 7. Then we had Lennox Anderson, Ulrich from West Dam came in at 7. Aubrey, Courtney, Felicia, Carlton, my squad mate. Then we had the Canon Rookman, Anthony Bradshaw, 11032 from Peters Hall, Warren Archer. They all came at 7. Then shortly after at 7:01, we had Sydney, Charlene, Aubrey, and this is Aubrey Pantless this time. John, Brian, Dexter, Raul, Kenneth, Cecile, Joan from New Amsterdam, Carl, that is Carl Johnson, Marcus, Paul, Earl, Barbara, Marlon, George, Calder, my countryman, Wayne from the UK, Leon Gibbo is here, Cliff Pastor Smith came at 7:01. Then at 7:02 onwards, we have BX came in 7:02. Then Esla, Gaston, my another squad mate, he is from Canada. Dion, this is Dion Springer. The Angel came in at 7:02 as well. Tessa came at 7:02. Clifton Stewart from Paris, he came at that same time. Brennan, Winston from California, Puran from Essequibo Coast, Queenie, Derek Trotty came at 702, Wayne, and this is Wayne Kesnew, Denise Moore out of Orlando, I think, or Florida, I don't know which exact county she's in, Vibert, Lawson, Morton, Moses, Barlow, Kerry, Glasgow, Benjamin from Myconi. He came at what time? Benji came at 703. Then we had in next Paulette, and this is Paulette Hart. She came at 703 as well. Sandrine Baird, Lynette Fraser from the UK, Lyndon, Michael, Carol, Cave, Glendis, Selwyn Smith came at 705. Brenda, Orin Baird from the UK, 705. Pito, Ian came at 706 as well. Hazel, and that's Hazel Williams. Denise Booker, the secretary, came at 707. Aileen, Ivor, Nicola, Compton, Williams, people get same name. I can tell you why I said so just now. Rosalind, Sion, Gordon, then Lance, Lorraine, Earl, Lynette Fraser from the UK, Malvern, Magnell, Pamela Alls, Westdam, Vibert Smith. Smithy's here. Smithy came in at 710. Then we had Malcolm. Then it was Mortley, Sean, and this is Sean Maxwell. Then we have Fergus, Leon, Stanford, Ether, Francis Keith, Grantley, Hazel, this is Hazel Rankin, Rhonda Chance, Umi, Lester, Roxanne, Bonita, Desiree, Liverpool from Georgia, Terrence Young from Canada, 97, 95, Father Masha, Valerie Clark, Vibert, and this is Vibert White from Edith Bank, Demerara, Siobhan, Akko, then Pinky, Patricia Gravesandi from New Jersey, Michael Samuels, Lyndon Gill, Anka Paul is here with us. We had Alvin Fraser, True Guyanese, then Ope, Allison, Richards, Neville, Kisoon, Patricia, Patrick Rodney from the UK, Simone, Albert, Terence, and this is Terence Carto, Sean, Pemberton, Dorrit, Darlington is here, Marva Gilbert. Then we have is Ivan, Danny, Diane, David, Lindo, Bernadette, Jean, and this is Jean Bond, Royston, Lennox James, Mark Bradford, Claire Capel, Myrtle Eastman. Then it was Lyndon Freire, Deborah Williams, Patricia, another Patricia Anthony Stein, Vashti, Gavin, Jakey is here with us. Allison, Barrow, Emerson, all those names that I just called was struck off. And then they start off here with those were 137, the first 137. Then we get Steve, as you can see, we can display this now. Mary, Melinda, Sheena, Colin, Henrik, Isabella is here, Maureen, Vaughn, Donald, Siobhan, Colin, Harold, then it was Kevin, Norbert, Stian, Floyd, Jacko is here, Albera, Carl, my squad mate from Arizona, Marcus, Elton, Kurt, Lyndon, Ricky Smith, Cranston, Janella, Ray Byrne, 10079. Lorna is here with us, Ronald, Cheryl, Diane, Paul, then it was Trevor. Good Things is here. Ras Ricardo, Ashley, Gail, O'Neill, Mark, Jerry, Monica, Karen, Rhonda Lane, West Dem in the house, Vernon, Stark K is here, and then it was Bray, Doreen, Dawn, welcome, attorney Dawn is here, Clive, then it's another Lorraine, this is Lorraine Brandt, Tuana, Roy, Roy is here, Boo, Charles, then we had Roy from upstate New York, Terrence, TK from California, Junior, Tessa, George, Michael, then it was Colin, 6984, Colin, Aaron, Melvin, Leroy, Marla, then Onika, DT. I had a school teacher name, we used to call him DT, Donald Thomas from Buxton. Chilo is here with us. Orville, Winslow, Richard, Verlin, Angela, Marvin, Sherwing, Eric. Then it was after Eric is Marlon, Paulette, Gary, Christy, Beverly, Kiza, Claude, Delverne, Conrad, Carlisle, Jermaine, Lorraine, another Lorraine, Ishwan, Dwayne, Mortimer, Carlton. Then it was Denise came back, the secretary. I tell you all, then when we went, Edward is always early in the to get into the class. He's on Facebook. The Commissioner Cole is here. Good to see you on the live, Commissioner Cole. Paulette, Carlton, Popo, always here as well. Althea is another regular Raquel, and the list goes on and on and on. I'm going to take all morning to run through the whole list. So yeah, we have, I tell you, lots and lots of students. We're up to 1,000 on the live now, but only 59 thumbs up. Only 59 thumbs up. Now for the announcements. I have quite a few announcements to make this morning. We have a regret to announce the death of retired Chief Inspector Compton Williams. I remember Compton very well. 12887 was his regulation number. Worked with me for many years at the TSU. I think at some stage he was in the Madia. Then I think he was in New Amsterdam. Well, we understand that he passed away yesterday. Then we had the news this morning of the death of Lance Corporal 25617, Crazy Springer. Crazy Springer, he was a collie black boy. He used to be a driver at the TSU, and then when the former commissioner or retired Commissioner Felix was a minister, Chris used to drive Mr. Felix. So you understand he died yesterday, and they're saying that it was as a result of dengue. I told you all to be careful, Told you all to be careful. This place you call Guyana is all sort of thing going to carry you. You got to be careful. So Crazy passed away yesterday. Then I learned of the death of ex-constable 9843 Vincent Mears. So Vincent used to be a traffic man some years ago at Brickdam. And then I see he was the brother-in-law of retired Assistant Commissioner Marlon Chapman. So those persons have passed, those former members have passed away recently. And then a little while ago, I learned of the death of one Fazlim Hanif. You all might know the man. Fazlim Hanif was known as Lemonade Man from Rusignal. Lemonade Man from Rusignal. That is a man who's gone back in 2003. There was a matter there in Barbies when I was a commander there. Fazlim was alleged, he shot his son. The circumstances wasn't clear. They were saying it was an accident and all of that. And the police, during the course of the investigation, of course, seized the firearm. He went to Gajraj, he was the minister. And Gajraj called me and ordered me to return the firearm. And I explained to Gajraj, the Minister of Home Affairs, that the investigation had not reached the stage for the firearm to be returned. And he ordered me, well, I tell you, he can't order me to do something like that. I told him plain, that's an unlawful order. He has no say and no jurisdiction in that. And I even went so far to tell him that he should contact the Commissioner of Police, who was McDonald at the time, right? And what happened, we know the rest is history. This is not the time for me to go into it this morning. But they decided to move me on the force. Barra Jagdeo, who was president, summoned me to his office to tell me I should apologize to Gajraj. And I asked him, apologize for what? What wrong did I do? What did I do? Tell me what wrong I did. And I'm man enough, if I recognize that, I can apologize. I said, no, the usual thing, Tantimo, you're not for thing, we know you're no wrong, we're going to put it on your record, you're going to bug your upward mobility, just all the television, just apologize, you want the matter done. I said, well, let Gajraj right what wrong I do. And I remain as an assistant commissioner because of that, despite what they say, for 11 plus years, right? For 11 plus years, I remained in the same rank, even though I was highly qualified. And as CC would tell you, I not only me suffer, but because they couldn't promote me, because he did not promote me, he know full well that I wouldn't allow them to promote the people junior to me above me, because we would have gone up the coach step. So he kept me there all the time till I retired in 2010. So yeah, Fazlim, the same man, Fazlim, and if Lemonade Man, right? He's known as in West Coast Borbies there, he passed the East Borbies. He passed away recently, I heard. And it comes to the same thing I've been saying all the time, yeah? All of us have to go one day, despite just sit down there and try to acquire all the power they want to get, tell lie on people, they thief, they cheat, they do all kind of thing. You have to go one day. We all have to go. And I can stand up and talk to the truth because I know I am comfortable with my mortality. I have to go a day, and I'm prepared for that. But that day is when Jehovah decide that day is here. Not them sitting down at the rum shop on the East Coast and planning to make pass through the next scrutiny coming. When Jehovah decided your time is here, then I will say yes, because you got no other option. When your time come. I mean, you can try to stay well, you can try to stay fit, you can eat all the good things and so on, but you still have to go one day. All the wealth Faslim acquired and all that they did, right? God just gone before you, there was he both up there now, and Gaff, by what we did do to slow back in the day there and so on. Maybe they're going to say, now that they're gone there, I said maybe we shouldn't do that and all of that. But Jack Dio will join them at some stage too. Jack Dio will join them at some stage. And I want to remind you, as I move on, that today is what number day today? 446 days since Sergeant Vaughn was shot and killed. 446, Sergeant Alex Vaughn. Shot and killed, they say, by his colleague, and what you hearing? Nothing. Imagine that. A police sergeant shot and killed on duty 446 days ago. And apart from the initial statement that one of his rank was accidental, they say, you're not hearing anything further. This extended squatter is sitting there and nothing. Well, he get media phobia, mic phobia, as other phobia you get. The only phobia you can get is tech money phobia, 8.5 and all them everything. Yeah, so those persons have passed. I want to say, express condolences, even to Faslim and his family, because death is death. All you got to face it. Even to Faslim family. Condolences to all the relatives, friends of those deceased persons, and hope that the good Lord will give you the strength to go through this trying time. Because, no matter how bad they are, once they're close to you, most people just feel sad and so on. Most people. But, it brings me to the point. Young man like this boy, as I told you, I'll pass away. Excuse me. Mears, Vincent, Black Bypass, fairly young man. Other people passing. And you get some of these people there, only they're around for making people's life miserable. And sometimes it forces you to question the fairness of life. All them people there, enough of them there, if they pass, people can celebrate. Big party, gonna celebrate the passing because they're gonna, it's like a neck, it's a knee gonna come off people's neck. A knee gonna come off people's neck. But they're still there. And for make people life miserable. But the time coming, and I said maybe the good Lord definitely has a plan for them. And the plan maybe is like the plan that Shadow, make the Jacob. The song, there's a song named Toe Jam. Yeah, I must listen to it. I know me one songs, I ain't as good as Dr. David Hines, who would play those nice calypso and so on and politics 101. But I know one thing, Toe Jam by Shadow. Tell me don't walk with Jacob because Jacob does walk and shake up. So I am saying that maybe the plan that the good Lord asked for those people is for them to get like Jacob. They got to walk and shake up. They must punish before they die. Maybe that's the plan. They got to punish for all the bad and evil things they do. We know many of them are not believers, Many of them are not believers, right? They believe in wealth. Their God is money and power. But we shall see. We shall see. So, maybe the plan is a Jacob plan. They have a walk and shake up. And I want to be around to see when some of them retire. Some of them believe they're going to never retire. And to see how they're going to reintegrate in society. Right? Let's see. And the other announcements that I want to make, the birthday greetings. Today, well, the happier announcements. Today is the birth anniversary of my squad mate, 9551 Frankie Softly. There's a man, very close friend. I am 49. You had 50 Prempress Smart and 51 Softly. We all lived in the H dormitory of the police place there. For 6 months, we lived together there. So we became very close during that time. Frankie is observing is natal day today. Another retired person is observing, Maxine Williams. Maxine is observing today as well. And then we have retired woman, Deputy Superintendent, I think she was, Joy Trim. She is observing today a natal day. And someone who many of you may not know, but he was a member team number 97, can't remember the exact number, in the early 97s, are talking about Egbert Atkins. Edward Atkins, his brother, is also observing his natal day today. And then in terms of birthdays that passed recently, we have Faye Pereira, retired. I think she retired as an inspector. I understand that she came back and she might be there in the special constabulary. She celebrated recently. Lyndon Fraser, used to call him Cruiser, he was an athlete. He celebrated yesterday. And then we have coming up shortly, retired inspector, I think he was our chief inspector, Andre Grant. Andre Grant, and a student who is there. All right, well, I haven't seen her. She might be here. She can listen. Doris Shelto is observing a natal day in the near future. I want to take this opportunity to say happy birthday to those who are celebrating today, who celebrated recently, and who are going to celebrate in the near future. And before I bring in Mr. Conway, I want to congratulate Lieutenant Colonel Selwyn Austin. I read that he recently handed over the command that he had at the GDF, and that he is proceeding on retirement. Oh, what a wonderful thing. Some of them don't know it. What a wonderful thing to proceed on retirement. Wonderful thing indeed. And I mentioned Selwyn because Selwyn's father and I were very close. James Austin, retired Assistant Commissioner of Police, is Selwyn's father. So Selwyn, I know Selwyn from since a little boy, coming up, joining the army and coming through. So Selwyn has reached the age to retire from the army as a lieutenant colonel. So congratulations to you, Selwyn. And I know that wherever you put your hand to, you're going to do well. You're well trained, you're well educated, you are a disciplined person, and I know that you are going to do well. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to go. CC, welcome, my brother.
Good morning. Happy, praise the Lord, that we're in the land of the living to do God's work. Congratulations to those persons who celebrated their birthdays, and a special congratulations to Faye Charles Pereira. I know her from birth as a little girl from number 30 Village, West Coast, Borbis. And also my sympathy to those persons to the relatives of those persons who passed away. Now, yesterday was a hectic day for me, Let me share some things with you. And we have students all over this place, all over again, And I did some walking about yesterday. And a lot of people just shout out to me. Starting from the Sophia minibus park, there was a youngster who came to me and said, Mr. Conway, I enjoy your Mr. Boss Slow program. God gonna bless you all. And he gave me a little contribution. And then I went to America Street, and there's a posse there. I call them the America Street posse. This is what I call whole parliament. A set of them, they do a lot of elbow buildings, and they discuss a lot of current and international affairs, and there's encouragement from them. And also, not too far from Bobby's car park, Joy and her partner reached out to me. And I straight away to Bamba Mali, and I met some police officers there and inspectors who are ardent students. Michael Young, police officer, Inspector Smith, who's a businessman in Lama Park. And I went up to Demico House, and there was Carton James and George Fraser, two of my sparring partners there, the retired inspector in the Northwest there, friends of ours. And I went to Giftland and had something to eat. And there is a youngster came to me. He said he and his wife, they don't miss the program, or if they didn't get it live, they look it together. And he said that it's very edifying, and they don't miss it. His daughter was with him there. I think she's a student of Mays. She's 14 years old, and we encourage us to really continue it And then he made a little contribution. Thank you very much. And here this one, this is a big one. Now, why listen carefully? I went to the funeral of Thomas Prince Carl Stokes, a retired army man. Yes, I think he had about 4 to 5 medals. And whilst there, he is the uncle. He was the uncle of Minister Robson Ben. So I went there and I saw the minister, and I walked about the place, greeted a whole set of persons that I knew from the Northwest because the place was full of with Northwest people, and thing. And the minister came to me and he extended his hand. He said, "Mr. Conway, how are you?" And I didn't do like RB Norton. I shook his hand, and I expressed my sympathy for the death of his uncle. And we talked a little other things, and then I scooted away. But I must say that he was properly dressed, a nice short jack, a nice black pants, properly, pressed, and he had on a black shoe. But I think he could have done better if he had a black shoe from one of the, if you got one from the corporal at police headquarters who sell black shoes to the trainees. But he look real good. And I hope that in the future, maybe if he go on any parade or so after then, he's gonna look very, very, very good if he continue that mood. So that was my day yesterday, where I move about. And believe me, Paul, the persons there or students there, they're all over this country. And I want to say thank them for the support and thank those for the contribution.
That recount of your day yesterday, and when you say the minister, you scoot. I hope you didn't shoot first because you went to get locked up. But when you say make the statement that Ben look good, you gotta qualify that. You gotta say he dressed fairly well. You can't say he look good. Can't with them face though, you can never ever look good. So let me understand this. Let me understand this clearly. Now let me say this. Some of you might have observed someone in the Jaguars coming just now and post something to say he call himself, or he or she call himself, Trump 2024 PPP. What is that? Trump 2024 PPP forever or something like that. Ban right away. Yeah, using me platform for free. All them who listening, this is no free platform. Yes, escorted it gone. For the time I see it, them think they gone. Right? Maybe if you come up, if you Jackie Opel visit, we might be inclined, right? We might be inclined to give you a little mileage. But you can't come here and use my platform for free. No. If you want, create your own platform and get all the free code you want. Not on speaking out. Tell you understand this thing? Clear. Not on speaking out. You don't come here and get no freebie. You come for posting it. But now they know, they know how popular this platform has become and growing by the day. So they're going to want to come for a little freebie. Not at all. We are not allowing that. We are not allowing that. So let me understand it clearly. Now a student that asked where's Bamba Mali, and somebody told him Orange Walk. And there's not is Orange Walk between Regent Street and South Road. That is known as Bam Bam Alley. Because when you sit there to have a drink, you admire all the bam bams that pass. Right? That is that is how it's got the name. That is how it got the name. All the bam bams that pass there. You sit there, you sip a beer or something more potent, and you admire those things that pass by. Now we move on. Let's move on. Now, the Guyana police force and Guyana is not a real place. It's not a real place. Yesterday, it has been reported that Mohammed Azzuddin, by now everybody knows who's Mohammed Azzuddin. He's the man who threw Yat into the ring, say he's running for president. Right? They're doing all sort of things. They charge you with tax evasion. They charge you with all sort of things. So yesterday he visited Region 1. And when he came off the boat, we understand that the policeman who was there shook his hand. A civil thing to do. Shook his hand. You know what happened immediately after? Let me read the message. Police message. The caption is rank. They say ranks. When I mean ranks, and is one they're talking about. Ranks transfer. Please be informed that Constable 25768 Sanmugan. I think it's pronounced Sanmoogan. That is how them spell them. I know there's a correct spelling. But it said, please be informed that Constable 25768 Sanmugan has been transferred from Regional Division 1 Immigration to Regional Division 6 General Duty, Molson Creek, with immediate effect. This is it. Let me show you all. Watch. This is Azudin Mohammed coming off the boat or wherever he come off there. Policeman stand up there. Obviously, he was in duty. I know that I don't think there's a port of entry. So he was on duty there. He did what is the civil thing. The man was stretched out here and and where he said good morning, whatever he said. The man is transferred immediately from Region 1 to Region 6. In case you all know, Molson Creek is still at the border with Brazil. Sorry, what's saying? Suriname. So the most eastern part there with Suriname. Molson Creek, the man is transferred to with immediate effect. Meaning you have a packy bundle and go right away. That is what they have. And you want to know how ranks are so demoralized. And on the other hand, this rank transfer because he shaped Azudin Mohammedan. I don't know what offense he would have committed there, but they're transferring. Right? Now, let me show you how this is now. We'll show you how this place is an animal farm. Animal farm. Look at this picture that I'm showing you all, This picture, they want the part to the left. Right? Look, you see what part? PPPC, the only true unifying party. Look, this woman here is said to be a police inspector stationed at Regional 4C Operations Room. There's a Kovanjan. This one here, right? Same thing. Police rank station in 4A. That is Brigham area, Georgetown thing. Them can go to PPP activity. She dressed in PPP colors. He is there and so on. Nothing can happen to them. But a policeman who is on duty and shook the hand of Azudin Mohammed is transferred immediately to Molson Creek in Region 6. Molson Creek. But I have some questions to ask, Yeah, better all the dictatorship, bullyism. That is what that extended squad is sitting there and doing. Because let me understand, for this stuff taking place, have to have its blessings. And the question is asked, how they know? Maybe they got special branch rank, the spine Azudin all over the place. They saw that, they took a picture, sent it to the squatter or somewhere else, and they would have been instructed to transfer it immediately. Immediately. But let me tell you all something again. Let me talk about it before bringing Mr. Conway. They're using this transfer thing for the longest while as a weapon to intimidate and silence ranks. Rank striking. And perhaps a justification. Because if you station someplace, Linden, West Demerara, Georgetown, even Borbis or someplace, and you have a family that you have to maintain, it's difficult. Not only maintain, you got to protect as well. It is difficult for you to be sent somewhere from some distant location. Because where you are, maybe you scare your child to school and all of that. But they aren't concerned with that. They are not concerned with those type of welfare issues. They want to exercise all the power to transfer you right away. And many times when these things happen, the people then get the means to say, well, I'm leaving the job. They don't have that because this is the only source of income. That little 500 US a month they get in, only source of income. And they got to go through all of that for that. But let me say further, this too is a demonstration of how weak the system is, how vindictive the people at the hierarchy of the force are, and the weakness of divisional commanders. Not at quarters and transferring nobody in my division to any particular station. Let me understand it clearly. When a commander is in a division, he's in command of everything in that division. CID, traffic, all sort of things. And now they're changing the CID thing because it is alleged that the crime chief is saying that the detectives in the division must not report or must not send file to the divisional commander. Some shit like that. They got to take instructions from the crime chief. All that is leading to the breakdown. You believe when I was a commander, I had crime chief like McDonald at one stage and others. You think they can tell me file mustn't come to me in the division? You think any division detective officer under me can risk that nonsense? But that's what you have. And then I make the point to emphasize that they can't transfer a man to the police station. Headquarters cannot transfer a person to a police station. They transfer him to the division. And the divisional commander is the one who decides which station that rank should go. And of course, it's based on the needs and all of that. I had an experience similar to that. I must have told you it before when I was commander the division. And I was commander the division that was my first divisional command. I went there in 1993, right? And let me tell you all this. Headquarters attempted to transfer Inspector Bacchus to Porica Police Station. The message come and said, he transferred to Porica Police Station. I said, no, sir, that ain't happening. You transfer him to D Division, as it was known then. And I, as the commander, will decide where he has to go. And I was a young superintendent in charge of the division. And they had to back down. They had to back down. He came and I sent him where there was a need. But he didn't make move, as we would say in the police force. He wasn't got Porica for whatever reason. So that ain't happening. I already had an inspector there. I think it might have been Malcolm Ned, who is on this program from time to time. So you ain't transferring nobody. Tell headquarters message come. He's transferred to Porica Police Station. No, sir. If you all want to come do the work, do the work. But don't tell me you sending the man and where he must go, unless perhaps you would have had some discussion with me. It ain't happening so. But now, these weak people we have for commander, most of them are commandos. They're not commander. That's what's happening. That is what you have happening. And this is a rank, don't forget, is an immigration rank. And in recent years, ranks who are recruited into the immigration section of the Ghana Police Force are recruited directly into the immigration. They do training in relation to immigration. They are not policemen as such. Wronged policemen. They are police. Let me get it straight. They are policemen, but they have not been trained to do general duties work. Let me put it that way. They have not been trained to do general duties work. So when you take a man from immigration and you transfer him to Molson Creek general duties, right? What you're setting up for fail, the whole system will fail. He does not know what to do. He's with direct intake into the immigration department. If he is, I'm not sure this one is, but if he is a direct intake, you transfer him to Molson Creek. And again, make the point, right? Make the point. Man get transfer for shaking hands, right? Man get transfer for shaking hands. What happened to the officer that I showed you the other day? Police officer there saluting Jerry Govaya. What happened to the officer? Let me see if I can find this slide there and show y'all. Police officer saluting Jerry Govaya. Look. Listen, he's saluting Jerry Govaya. So what you're going to transfer it to? He's saluting a civilian man who ain't entitled to salute. And look how the man stand up, Jerry Govaya. The man got capped in the hat and the head. The man stand up there with the old master day time. A Portuguese man. And you have to forgive me. I got to talk it as I know it. You say Portuguese descent. A Portuguese man, we just call him Portuguese. Right? Got a man of African descent, a black man, stand up over you with an umbrella. And then see the offensive. Nothing is wrong with that. But you have to transfer a young policeman because he shake the hand of Azuddin Mohammed. And then you get these who attending PPP function. I understand this might have been at Babu Jan. Inspector duck out in she red PPP clothes among what seems to be PPP supporters. This one, he never got on the PPP clothes, then I issue with the uniform, the PPP uniform, but he's there with all of that. We have seen images of senior people that got on big one Guyana badge for the uniform. And there's a PPP slogan thing on their uniform. They have it on. And nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. And you all sit down. People will sit down. But let me tell you all this. Let me tell you all this, ranks. I know you all under pressure. You can't afford to lose the job because you got a family to maintain. You will get an opportunity whenever the election is to express how you feel about these things. Can't talk to them because they're going to charge you, they're going to dismiss you. Get an opportunity to go and put your X and consider carefully when that time comes. Consider carefully, because let me say this in respect to these ranks. These two. Nothing wrong with you supporting a political party. Absolutely nothing wrong with you supporting a party of your choice. There's nothing wrong with that. But as policemen and women, you cannot be displaying openly this type of thing, wearing uniform, wearing PVP clothes and them on. No, it is unbecoming. You ought not to be doing that. You ought not to be doing that. You support whoever you want to support, fine, nothing wrong with that. But you as a serving member of the force should not be there at any activity like that and openly. But your mere presence there is showing your support. Very unprofessional. And they don't see nothing wrong with that. And let me say this further. See, you're taking a long back today, I'm bringing in just now. Let me say this further. Right? You have the same squatter, Clifton Aiken, who is the commissioner of police. Right? Same squatter. We know that during a period of time, during the coalition administration, when he was seconded to the Ministry of Citizenship, he spent a lot of time at the Mohammeds in Lambert Street. He spent a lot of time. So nothing. He spent a lot of time with the Mohammeds in Lambert Street. That is, we get the evidence for that. Nothing was wrong with that. They promote him. All because why? He on this side, so to speak. Right? This is the same man who collected $8.5 million from Amir Ahmad to finance Brutus' wedding. Nothing is wrong with that. But the rank, Amir and Sheikh get that poor constable transferred from one end of the country because the way he was, I think, Morocco or somewhere there, that is still by Venezuela. So they send it till all by Suriname. No. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for him to obviously. You see?
Yeah, it's looking at it. There's it. A police rank at Morocco shook the hand of Mohammed and immediately transfer from the northern tip of the Ghana map to the Far East, to Suriname, the border, you know. And as you mentioned, those who went to Babujan, dress up, deck up, and you only show two, I went 2 person there. There are several others who went there, several others who went there. Nothing happened to them. And then what happened to all those who, during Christmas time, we see line up in Lombard Street at Mohammed to collect their Christmas gift? What happened with them? Including senior officers too. But and reform. And then let me tell you a little story too. What was when I was commander ENF division, the PPP held a meeting at Linden with Mashoro. I think they launched their campaign there. And Gadraj was the Minister of Affairs. I was there. And Gadraj called me. He signaled me. He said, Conway, I want to talk to you. And I went up on stage. He was on the front row. And I asked him, and he asked me to estimate the crowd. And I give him an estimate. Although we didn't agree. He said, no, you gain too much a small estimate. When it's PNC time, you gain big estimate. But when they don't know when it's PPP time, you gain a small amount. I said, well, this crowd get belly. Yeah, all inside there. And I left and I went away. 3 days afterward, Commissioner Larry Lewis called me. He said, come. Like a going little political come. And he showed me a photograph. And somebody sent a photograph and I wrote at the back of the photograph, police commander on PPP stage. They show me on the stage talking to Gadraj. So I have to explain to the commissioner the circumstances under which I went there. And after that, I be careful. I ain't getting wrong none of them at all. But there's it. I went there. Gadraj called me. I listened. I left there. And then a couple days afterward, I self-photographed myself, commander on PPP stage. So all kind of things happening. But coming back to the main point is that, double standard. Who is it if you shake the man on? Who is it if you shake the man on? So I made the problem because I shook Robson been on yesterday at the funeral, so maybe they might want to see me. Otherwise, they might want to say, I turn political, but I'm not political. I am apolitical. I don't belong to no political party. And it's time that the commanders to stand up. But if this providing they get backbone, providing they get spine, providing that they get seed, perhaps they must get seed, but the seed must get big, 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 so the thing there, So the thing is that they need to stand up and they need to be form enough and put the politicians them in place. No politician can't call me and tell me transfer nobody. No way. No way. I got transfer based on the facts and so, but that a man shake somebody hand and he get transfer. Deal with them who go Babujan. Deal with them who that PPP place all about the place. Deal with them. Good.
A comment here from my Jamaican friend, and he's saying it should be the other way around. Forces should be recruited into the force, trained in general policing, and then after 2 years, if he displays the aptitude, transferred to immigration. Yes, Dudley, that used to be it some years ago. That used to be it. But they have this thing now with direct intake into the immigration. And we have always argued it's good to bring them into the immigration directly. But when they do something and you have to move them out, you should send them home because they are no policing, or put them then into basic training. If you can do it before, but you should not be sending a rank from immigration, transfer to some police station. Not policing. He was never trained, he or she was never trained in that area. So if you want to transfer them, he should have been transferred. This man should have been transferred maybe to the training school to undergo his initial training then. But that don't happen, and that is why in many cases you get some of the problem, right? Some of the problem because they're putting people into this position. No training. I know of other cases where men walk in the band room, they get transferred from the band room to some place. They are not policing, never went to training school. But that is what you have. And then the question as to why you have all these problems. The question as to why you have all these problems. Guyana is a lawless place. No law. The laws are there on the books. But then it is being selectively enforced. Selectively enforced. Well, you ask him, well, what about firearm training? The man don't care. When he got to a station, they see as a body. So the next thing they're going to give a gun until he go on duty. He might have never been trained to use a firearm. Never been trained to use a firearm. They're going to just send you out there like that. And that is the problem. Let me show you some of the lawlessness. Look, this is something I screenshot this morning. This is a road going to somewhere. I don't know where the road leads. A road going to somewhere. Somebody come and dump an old truckload of sand in the middle of the road without any consideration for who else got to pass there. If somebody gets sick, ambulance got to go. No consideration. And this is not an isolated incident. It happens all over. I remember even in my village, I saw it and had to make noise. Because one of the things I've always been concerned about, all right, good, you get a load of sand come. Maybe there's nowhere else for you to dump it. But one would expect that for the time it comes and it is dumped there, you get your workforce to try to move it to wherever it has to go. But no, sometimes these things remain there for days. And not only sand, mud, all sorts of other things are dumped in the middle of a road. And you want to tell me that this is a place with law and order? I tell you, it's there on the books. It is there on the books. But nothing is enforced. And that is why I've always said they're going to jump up, say they're passing this law. But it makes no sense. Pass the law for recognize that you pass law. And then when you come to enforcement and all that, nothing. But that is the lawlessness we have in Guyana. We have a lawless government, so what do you expect? They're going to say I'm political, but I have experienced the lawlessness. So I can speak with authority about it. I have personal experience of the lawlessness. So I can speak. Now let me move on to the next matter. When we were here, today's Wednesday, Monday. When we were here Monday, there was this tape or video that was released by Azzuddin Mohammed, the presidential hopeful T. Mohammed. You know, they had this issue with the duties and so on that were paid for the Lamborghini. Azzuddin Mohammed came out when he announced, when he was in court, for this charge and thing, he said that he has evidence that the president was involved in the whole transaction. He said he had evidence and he would reveal it. A few days after, he revealed what was the evidence he had. I could tell you that the thing was revealed at 8:30. Would have been today's Wednesday. I think it's Monday morning around 8:30 it was released. And within a short space of time, it had like about 100,000 views. That tape. Released on Facebook. Over 100,000. By now, I think that might be doubled. And that is why they're shitting drums, not buckets. They're shitting drums. Following the release of that tape, the president came out and the president said that, well, I'm going to read the article in today's Stabrook News. There's an article dealing with the same matter. We're going to read it and we're going to go through the thing. Let me start. The headline is questions continue over the president's alleged role in Lamborghini tax talk. Questions continue over president's alleged role in Lamborghini tax talk. Hear what it says. President Irfan remained silent yesterday in the face of allegations by businessman Azzuddin Mohammed that he was involved in the tax discussion pertaining to a Lamborghini vehicle, which has seen the latter facing a criminal charge over under invoicing. It goes on, despite repeated efforts by Stabrook News yesterday to obtain a comment from the president via his public relations team on the matter, no response was provided. It would have been highly irregular for the president to have played any type of role in the discussions in discussing taxes for this vehicle, as it falls in the sole purview of the Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA. After Mohammed on Monday released a video on what he described as evidence of the president's awareness of the importation of the Lamborghini, Ali released a statement saying that Mohammed's video reinforced its duplicity and dishonesty. Quote, as I stated before, at no time did Azzuddin Mohammed present any invoice for $695,000, which we know, that's US dollars, which we now know is the true and correct value of the car. Instead, he reaffirmed and confirmed his lies that the invoice he shared and presented to GRA was $75,000 US dollars. We are also now aware of not one, but a series of financial transfers made to the same company, verifying what was actually paid for the car. This is a matter before us. Did he lie about the value he presented as the purchase price for the vehicle? The answer is yes. As he again maintains in the video, the value is $75,000 US dollars, which we know is dishonest and factually incorrect. Based on the facts now presented by the US authorities, he did lie and presented a false invoice to the GRA. Did he ever present the true and correct value of the vehicle to me or the GRA? The answer is no, as he maintains in the recent video. The president, in his response, focused on the value of the Lamborghini, but did not address at all whether he had ever been involved in discussions with Mohammed on the tax to be paid to the GRA. Mohammed said his release was in response to the recent public challenges from President Ali and Vice President Jack Dio to present proof of the discussion. In the video, he declared, "Here is proof," quote unquote, as he read aloud the messages and displayed screenshots of bank transfer details. He claimed that the messages with the president dated from September to December 2021. Mohammed further alleged that when the GRA initially resisted registering the vehicle, it was President Ali who intervened. Quote, the next day, Irfan told me, matter sorted, Mohammed alleged in the video. Public interest in the case has intensified, particularly after Mohammed announced his intention to run for the presidency in the 2025 general elections. The businessman has claimed that the current government is using state institutions to target his family for political reasons. This is, quote, this is a full-blown dictatorship government presently, end of quote. Mohammed said in the video, quote, you don't victimize people just for power, end of quote. In the past, Vice President Jagdeo has insisted the matter is about accountability, not politics. Quote, this is a criminal act, end of quote. He said during a previous press conference, quote, a fake invoice is a criminal act by our laws, end of quote. The controversy has exposed long-standing ties between the Mohammeds and members of the current administration, including the use of armored vehicle reportedly made available to Ali during the 2020 election campaign. Relations have since deteriorated, especially in the wake of the U.S. sanctions against the Mohammed family. Now, there's an article on Stabrook News today. Well, let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then I'm going to come back to try and analyze this thing. I tell you how, when these statements are made, we are trained to analyze statements. When articles are published, we are trained to analyze those articles, read between the lines, and we will do so, and we're going to clarify things for you. Let me bring in CC. CC, the thing is there, man. Let me hear your views on it.
Well, I like the article, and as it mentioned, there were screenshots, there were messages that we saw, clear case that Azuddin was having difficulties, and he appealed to his friend, the president, and the president said the thing started out. When Stacia Porras was giving them some things to say, this thing can be registered, the president came on board. And also we can, I heard the talking nothing, president talking anything about the vehicle that he used to drive for the Azuddin, even after he became president, that the presidential standard on it. And what the thing is saying is that he got to talk about the 75 million vehicle, not the 695 that is an acre. The man produced the thing for you for 75 million, and they get clearance. So don't try for sidetrack and talk about 695 thing there. He dealt with the incorrect, if you would said, the incorrect invoice. The president did with the incorrect invoice. So he had no checks and balances to see if this thing was correct or not. This whole thing now, and they talk about duplicity and duplicity and dishonesty. He was part of the duplicity. He was part of the dishonesty. Hook, line, and sinker. He played an active role, if you can say duplicity and dishonesty. So he was involved, actually involved, and then what he's saying is paralyzed and still more lies.
Yeah. Like, well, let me address one of these students. Well, me I don't know if he's a student or a troll. Let me put it up. This is he has asked a few questions. He asking why he lie. In other words, why this is Maher. Somebody presents himself as Maher Singh. I always worried about this thing when I don't get no proper picture. He has some car or something as the photo, as the image, and he said, why did the president lie? Why he lied to the president? I got to ask you, why the president involved in the importation of vehicles? That is a question to be asked and answered. Not why the man lied to you. Even if, for argument's sake, you want to assume that Mohammed presented the wrong invoice to him, and for argument's sake, let me say that the vehicle, in fact, cost $695,000, and Mohammed presented invoice for $75,000. Why is the president of Guyana, Mohammed Irfan Ali, involved in the whole process? I would have thought in a properly organized and run democracy, even if the man is the friend, as clearly was, because in all the exchanges we saw there, that are ordinary thing, the man, refer him to the Guyana Revenue Authority. You have no authority to deal with it. The man come and beg you. And why would he come? Excuse me, why would he come to beg you? Because of the body nature. Think anytime the Canary and Biari and Ragobir can go to the president in this manner. They were body. And therefore, the man said the president was involved in the process even before the vehicle came. So the question is, Maes or whatever the name is, not whether the man lied to the president, why he felt the need to go to the president in the first place because the president involved in these type of things. And I told you all they're gonna come, they're gonna bring the embarrass asking again. I can deal with just what crime did the president commit? What crime did the president commit? That is the question you're asking. Anybody accuse the president of committing a crime? We said the president put in the hand in things that he had not to. That is what we're saying. It may not amount to a crime, but at the end of the day, that is not the president's role. Because the president, the second, can't commit crime when he's in office. That is a ruling from the High Court. The Constitution says so he's immune. So it's not a case where you ever heard of moral turpitude? You ever heard that phrase, moral turpitude? A president of the country getting involved to clear a vehicle. And the man said that even before the vehicle came, there's the allegation that even before the vehicle came, he had a discussion with the president. He said that he wanted to pay $50 million. The president tell him no, pay $25 million. He made a statement to say the president was complicit, but I made the point before that the president, according to the Constitution, you can't charge him for commit any crime. If he commits what is said to be a crime in office, you can't charge him. That was borne out because when I challenged his unlawful suspension of the Police Service Commission, right? Even when I challenged the unlawful suspension of the Police Service Commission, we had named the president as a respondent. And Justice Zeno Prasad ruled that the president cannot be named as a respondent. And he ordered that the rubric be changed to remove the president's name. And he explained all the articles in the Constitution. So we know that the president can get charged, right, for that. But having violated the Constitution, there's a provision, I think Article 92 of the Constitution, where he can be removed from office. He can be removed from office for violating the Constitution. This is not a violation of the Constitution, we're saying. But we're saying for the president to get involved in this whole process of the importation of the vehicles is improper. So even though they're dwelling on all the Maggie Rang information in terms of the cost, and he should not be involved, period. And if he was indeed approached, all he had to say, go to the Revenue Authority. Right? Go to the Revenue Authority. They're going to deal with it. Stay out of it. But, and let me tell you about my experience too. Because the president getting involved in matters is not an isolated thing. I told you all that on the 17th or the 16th of September 2020, president got involved. You want people who was promoted. And I was the chairman of the Police Service Commission. And I went to a meeting with the president of the office of the president, and he telling me who for promote and all that. And where we did not, because the people did not qualify, they had pending disciplinary matters, they moved me and Conway were on the service commission. Unlawfully suspend the Police Service Commission because they wanted to get rid of us. Suspend the Police Service Commission on the 16th of June 2021, when the life of the commission was due to end automatically on the 8th of August 2021. I mean, 51 or 52 days thereafter. So he intervened and suspended the competition, so the Police Service Commission, right? So he said that what the president saying here, as I stated before, at air, and this is for the same man who making a comment. Same man who making a comment. He said, here what the president is quoted as saying, I know comprehension is a problem for you. Comprehension is a problem. What the president is saying is reported to have said, as I stated before, at no time did Azuddin Mohammed present any invoice for $695,000, which we now know is true and correct value of the car. Instead, he reaffirms and confirms his lies that the invoice is shared. The invoice is shared and presented to GRA was $75,000. Right? Then he goes on to say, did he ever present the true and correct vehicle to me? Here he's saying. Miss Police, you know. And I tell you, when I make the statement to the state, they said, here we saying, did he ever present the true and correct value of the vehicle to me or the GRA? The answer is no. And he maintains it in the video. Again, let me read that for this man, Myers, or whatever he said. Hear what the president is saying. He asked the question, did Mohammed Azadin Mohammed ever presented the true and correct value of the vehicle to me or to the GRA? Now, why would he have to present the true and correct value or any value at all to you? How are you getting involved in that? How you are getting involved in that, Mr. President? You know, they bring the spin bowlers, they resurrect Shane Warne, and they bring in more Litteran and all them top line spinner. But this wicket is a dead wicket. This wicket is, well, you ask the right question. He walk in a GRA, how invoice should be presented to him? This is a flat dead wicket, all them spin where they come in can't walk. The wicket then taking no spin. The spinning and the spinning and the spinning, right? So let me understand this thing clearly. I am saying, despite what the spinners are saying and the sycophants are saying, this statement released by the president show clearly that he was involved in the process. He was involved in the process. There's no question about that. He admitted that he was involved in the process. However, he's saying that the man didn't present the right thing to him. He did not present the right value to him. But why would he need to have presented it to you in the first place? Why are you involved in the process? I would have thought in a well-organized and run country, from the time Mohammed came to you with this thing, all the information that he released, and tell you about this vehicle for import, he said, well, talk to GRA. Godfrey Stacia is the Commissioner General. Go and have a conversation with them. I am getting involved in that. I am not getting involved in that. That should have been the response. But no, the man said, he said, when he, and hear this, hear this. When as it is saying, Mohammed further alleged that when the GRA initially resisted registering the vehicle, it was President Ali who intervened. And he said the next day, Irfan told me, matter sorted. Matter sorted. That is what he said, the man tell you. Why is he getting involved? Why is he? You know why? Because that's the way they just govern. They want anything. They like octopus. They get enough arms, then everything. Transfer of policemen, promotion of policemen, all things they want to get involved. And they think we're stupid. Well, Jack Dio did say that they get a lot of stupid people in Ghana. I'm telling you, we here are not numbered among those. We are not numbered among those. So let me understand what's going on. So I am saying, and Mohammed said on Monday that this is the first tranche of information to be released, implying that you get more to release. Well, I am anxiously sitting down in the pavilion, even if I go sit down in rails, even if I go sit down on the side of the boundary, I watching the ride. I watching the ride. When you sit down on the side of the boundary or you sit down in rails, you just make sure that you keep your eye on the ball so the ball don't strike you, right? Keep your eye on the ball so that the ball don't strike you. That is what we have. And I hope that more come out. And I want to compliment Azadin, because a lot of people, Brutus and them, say, oh, we can release. They're not released. His father did release 2 checks to show that they did business with the government after the sanction was imposed, despite what they're saying. And you ain't not about any longer, but they did business with the government, this with the Mohammeds. What they said is sanctioned Mohammeds. The government did this evidence that they did business with them. And they're the same ones who telling you, oh, if you take out photograph in Mohammed, you're going to be sanctioned. If you're seen in the company in Mohammed, you're going to be sanctioned. They do business, millions of dollars business with the Mohammed. So how they might get sanctioned? How they might get sanctioned? Let me bring in Mr. Conway, man. Let me bring in. See, this story, as them, I used to say in the country, this story get melody. This story get melody. Let me hear your views, my brother.
I agree. Well, the president can't commit no crime whilst in office. But I always like to run to this constitution that I pay for, that I didn't otherwise obtain. I ain't thief it from nobody. And Article 94, Paul, it said the president may be removed from office if he or she commits any violation of the constitution. Well, apparently he didn't violate the constitution there. He violated it in our time when he suspended us. Or any gross misconduct. So what he did there, excuse me, there's act of gross misconduct, act of gross misconduct, getting involved in GRA matters and facilitating the importation and the clearing of the vehicle according to Mohammed. The facts are there, the documentation there, the conversation there. We saw where the president call him back. He missed call from the president and he called the president. So they had interaction in relation to the vehicle. And don't tell me, don't stress upon 300 and something thousand US. Stress upon the 75,000. Don't try to distract us the 75,000. And if I had to answer it, I would have tried to answer Mohammed line for line. I mustn't left nothing hanging. But just jump on the thing and make some wild statements and try to distract people. The fact is that there were interactions between the president and Mohammed. And the president facilitated action to be taken by the commissioner, Godfrey Station. Matter certain, matter done. If the more you look at the president response, the more you feel no. Something is wrong somewhere along the line. And the more you're getting the impression, or the clear impression, that the president facilitated the importation and the clearance, the paying of duty for that vehicle. For that vehicle. And that, according to the constitution, is an act of gross misconduct. We didn't say commit crime. So for the man who putting up things, Singh or whatever you name, we didn't say no crime. We saying it's an act of gross misconduct committed by the president.
And we can even argue that it is a crime, but the constitution says he cannot be charged, right? So if he kills somebody, you're gonna say it's not a crime. It is a crime, but he might enjoy immunity, but it is a crime. And hey, what this man say? What's why he said, CC? He's surprised that you guys were police officers. He said he's surprised. Yeah, you must surprised because given what you're seeing there now, we were 100 miles ahead of what you see there for commissioner and all them people. 100 miles ahead. And you come here and so on. I don't think you want to learn. So all I will say to you now, sir, goodbye. Goodbye. Let me give you the treatment. Goodbye. Some other platform. Go and tax stupidness somewhere else. People are here to learn. We don't come here and just spew nonsense as you are trying to do. Don't pollute this platform. We're not going to allow you to pollute this platform. So go your way. Go your way. Right? Now, let me go to another issue. We're going to come back to this because I suspect the spin bowlers will come out again. And when the spin bowlers come out, we have a responsibility to respond to them. But, as we have said repeatedly, we can't go a single program without dealing with Adriana Young's matter. Can't go a single program without dealing with Adriana Young's matter. Adriana Young, who was murdered at the Doubleday Hotel between the 23rd and the 24th of last month, right? And people come and they say us other thing, including a man who respected, a former detective, prosecutor, on top of direct evidence. As we said on Monday, you don't have to have direct evidence to prove and to even gain a conviction there's something called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence where all the circumstances point to a particular thing, conclusion. I remember when I was doing training, when training school, they used to tell you this. They said, imagine a street is empty. Let me say Regent Street. Empty, devoid of people. You walking down Camp Street. Those of you who know the geography understand what I'm saying. And you turn into Regent Street. Right? You see a man lying there, bleeding, bad wound, the man bleeding, and subsequently passed. You saw a man standing over him with a knife or a cutlass, and then he moves off. You can't give evidence that you saw this man chopping or wounding the man who is deceased. That would be direct evidence. You can't say that you saw that. But when you give evidence that you come around the corner, you saw the man lying there bleeding profusely, and you saw this man standing over him with a cutlass or a knife or something like that, the circumstances will lead to one conclusion, that he is the man who chopped this man and killed him. And then you might have other circumstantial evidence that builds. You get the cutlass and then you get DNA. So don't come with this nonsense, right? And this is for the benefit of the policemen. So somebody commented, an old detective that I get a lot of respect for who's on this program, said sometimes the circumstantial evidence is very, very strong. And you know why? Because people, eyewitnesses can come and give conflicting evidence. They see something which might not be so, the light might not be good even though they said they see, and then it can go. But when you have strong circumstantial evidence, it's not easy to manipulate that. Not easy to manipulate that. Yes, when what bloodstained cutlass and all. There's a simple example I gave of circumstantial evidence. Right? Now, we know that on Sunday, well, I shouldn't be saying we know. On Sunday, there was a rally in Brooklyn, Independence Rally, and Adriana Young received a congressional citation posthumously. There's obviously she did. She received that. And I saw it was last night, I saw it, I don't know how long, that the congressman, U.S. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, demands full investigation into death of Adriana Young, citing domestic and international outrage. Here it is. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries demands full investigation into death of Adriana Young, citing domestic and international outrage. Yes, there's an outrage. Because when they come up, we're going to deal, you're going to get some time to deal with this nonsense where they say the Canadian ex-sergeant, where they tell them about this good job that the police did. Hear what the congressman said. Our Democratic leader, he's a Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is calling for a comprehensive and transparent investigation into the mysterious death of Adriana Young, a case that has ignited widespread outrage across the United States and drawn concerns from the international community. In a statement released Tuesday, that is yesterday, Congressman Jeffries emphasized the urgent need for accountability and clarity surrounding the circumstances of Young's death, which he described as, quote, deeply disturbing and unacceptable, end of quote. He called on authorities to ensure that justice is pursued with integrity and urgency, and that all responsible parties are held accountable. Quote, the tragic death of Adriana Young demands answers, end of quote, said Jeffries. Quote again, we cannot allow this case to be swept aside. The American people and the world are watching, and they deserve a full, fair, and independent investigation, end of quote. Adriana Young, whose body was discovered under suspicious circumstances last month, had been the subject of increasing public attention and questions mounting regarding law enforcement's handling of the case. Advocates and civil rights organizations have pointed to potential mishandling and lack of transparency as contributing factors to growing public distrust. Protests have erupted in several parts of Guyana, with demonstrations demanding justice for Young and calling for systemic reform in how similar cases are investigated. One, on social media, the hashtag Justice for Adriana has trended globally, with activists, celebrities, and political leaders voicing their support for a thorough inquiry. International human rights organizations have also joined the call for action, underscoring the case as emblematic of broader issues relating to race, gender, and justice in the U.S. legal system. Jeffrey is known for his advocacy on civil rights and police accountability, stressed that this investigation must go beyond the surface. Quote, Adriana Young was a daughter, a sister, a friend, and her life mattered, end of quote, Jeffrey said. Quote again, the pursuit of justice must be relentless. Truth must prevail, end of quote. Now, are you attacking now? When we talk about are we saying you must get a proper investigation? Because I saying that based on all the circumstantial and other evidence, murder, because I maintain that she could not have drowned in the pool, as they are trying to gaslight and to tell people she couldn't have drowned in the pool. And once she did not drown in the pool, then she was murdered and placed there. That is the belief. But the congressman is right. Have a proper investigation. The president said that he committed to having a proper investigation. Instead of that, they bring some washout Canadian retired sergeant. And we're going to go into it. We got the time. He didn't investigate nothing based on what they say that he said in the report. He did not investigate anything. They say he came to assist with the investigation, but based on what they are quoting him as saying, based on the excerpts from the report, he did not investigate anything. Yeah, I'll share the life. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then I'm going to come back to deal with the report from what the Canadian man said. CC, now Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the U.S., is saying that they want a full comprehensive investigation. Your take on it?
I agree with him, and that's what we've been saying all the time. And I also agree with you that she was murdered, that she didn't die in no pool. If I may restate, they searched the pool of all people critics. Of all people critics show the video, and they bring this retired man, this retired sergeant, and all he did was he sit down, I know his drink, and look over 400 pages, he said, of documentation and some video and other clippings, and come to the conclusion that the police did an excellent job. Maybe I don't think maybe there's a standard. He didn't mention about what the police tell the relative that the girl gone with a vehicle. And now the commander say, you all go along your way because you're not here. He didn't address that the police didn't lock down the scene. You win or lose a case at the scene of the crime. And the hotel was the crime scene. Huh? They didn't lock it down. They didn't preserve evidence. They didn't secure the scene, people in and out. They didn't look at theory of exchange, say something on left there, or they're gonna carry something or some traces of the defect. They didn't look at the theory of exchange. All this Malcolm, sit down, go through them statement. Was he drink a beer or two? Well, and then he be a butterfly too, He gonna he butterfly and then he flew away. And that's all the man did. Review statements. I know we review all 400. There's nothing in the report that they say that the man presented that he interviewed people. That he did interview critical people. Nothing at all there. Just review the 400 thing and police did an excellent work. Then a security crime scene and they did excellent work. They gave misleading information that the girl gone with some vehicle. and they describe the vehicle and the owner of the vehicle and that kind of thing there. Yeah, there's what and then he didn't address the point where they say that yeah we, where they say that the person, the civilian, says she type in the wrong date. So you're telling me on another date, on another date, on another date, she went there at the hotel and she left with the vehicle. Huh? You know, so some and he interviewed them. He didn't say whether he saw that video without leaving. Man, just come enjoy Mazid we so he been and anything. And I want to be still a member of the force. I want to be there on the owl or whether they revoke it. I know we need to know. You see, because they're not forthcoming, they're not giving us information. So all kind of theories will come. But by saying and we maintaining that she was murdered and she did not die in that pool. She didn't drown in that pool. And what happened? Did he interview the man with the wet clothes? That policeman with the wet clothes? Did he interview him? And what he had to say? Some Smithy name? You know, so much of gaps, so much of blunders. And then he's saying that the police did an excellent job. And then he mentioned also that his thing that he never experienced before. So he tell you he never get no experience. He never get no experience. There are things he never experienced before. You know. I know where really they get it from. An inactive retired sergeant, a desk sergeant who after he retire has not done any real actual policing, and they bring you and pay you also the money. And Paul used mentioned 50,000. I want to believe he must get more than Carrick. Remember Bonner Carrick had eight point something million. He must even get more than that. But we gotta keep it on the board, and it got to be investigated. It calls for thorough investigation. It calls for meticulous investigation. It calls for painstaking investigation. You gotta get people to put those photographs, those video things together, experts to put them together. Huh? And I we'll say, you know, they want to cover up and they're blundering and blundering all the time.
They are blundering from the get-go. But you know, I got to correct you one time, you know. You say you don't know where they get it from. Nonetheless, say, it's some agency in the Caribbean recommended to them. And nonetheless, say, on Caribbean Tea, that the man did several investigations in the Caribbean. He can't name the agency that recommended them, recommended this man to the government. And he can't say the cases that he did. And nonetheless, he's supposed to be a liar. He would have gone to law school. I think he went. And he would know that when they get these cases, he got to cite previous cases, previous authorities, and so on. But he come and he tell them that, look, this man was recommended by somebody. And for the time I see body language, I say, lay. I said so from the time I look at his body language and he responded to that question. Then he said the man was a member of the Guyana police force. The man was sworn in as a member. What? How you do that? How you do? What rank you sworn him as? What rank was he sworn in as? And as Mr. Conway said, if he was sworn in as a member of the police force and the man beat out and gone, did he get his revocation notice to say that he's no longer a member of the force? Oh man, we ain't stupid. We big, but we ain't stupid. And again, I got to show this critic tape.
And as you can see, you see the pool here, clear. Like when the family said they went in the pool and check, everybody went in the pool and check. Normally, you ain't got to check if there's a body in this pool. You could see it because the pool is clear, right? So, obviously the young lady, the 11-year-old who has gone missing from this place is not in this pool.
A truer word has never been said. Not in the pool. But let me tell you what I believe transpired there. Let me tell you what is my view. And others have expressed the same view. That tape was intended to prove that the child was not there. Because this body was never, the part of the plan wasn't for the body to be discovered at the pool. The body was to be discovered elsewhere. Because people are saying that attempts were made, several attempts were made on the morning of the 24th to move the body away. Now, after that failed, because of the vigilance of the residents who were there, they had to come up with this plan to dump it in the pool and claim that she drowned. But they didn't cater for the video and other evidence. And Edgar, that too is circumstantial evidence. That too, the body was not there on the night of the 23rd when critics visited and recorded that video. That is the night of the 23rd of April. She later surfaced on the morning of the 24th of April. So she went invisible for a period and then suddenly became visible again. This plan, I believe, was this body to be found elsewhere. And then they go say with the same car story. Well, you see, she went away with the car. She was run off with someone. An 11-year-old, that is how disrespectful these people are. Went to this pool with her grandmother. And they're implying that she might have gone away in some car. And if it was not for the people who stood there, they would have found she there somewhere. And they would have claimed the same man, perhaps the same man in the car or somebody else, killed she. Because she did not die in the pool, you see. We checked the pool at night. She was nowhere there. She did not die in the pool. But it backfired. God don't sleep. He ain't get pajama. He ain't get pajama. God don't sleep. And that's the work of the Almighty to expose them like that. Work of the Almighty to expose them in the manner. Their own person, they can't come. He come and try to walk back, but the water wasn't too clear and all this type of thing. And this joking Canadian man, what they bring. What the man say? Let me repeat, because I'm not sure that all of you are here the last day. What the man say in the report. This is, to me, part of the most offensive part of this report. But again, let me be fair to him. Because we have not seen the report. What we have seen are extracts presented by the Lion Police Force. I'm not talking about the Lion Police Force. I'm talking about everybody. You still get honest people there. But the hierarchy, many of them, you still get honest people in the hierarchy too. But you all know what we're talking about. They come to lie. Hear what the man say. Hear what this man say. According to McCushion, that is what they are saying. According to McCushion, if a thorough search had been done of the pool by properly trained and properly equipped persons at the outset, quote, this investigation would have very likely not generated the international attention and political pressure that it finds itself in today. That is what this man is saying, quote. So, in other words, what McCushion, Leonard, I think is this first, they were saying, that in order for this thing to have been searched, this pool, the deepest part is 8 feet. You have to get, let me quote you again, quote what they say, you have to search, a thorough search had been done of the pool by properly trained and properly equipped people. So you have to be properly trained to search a pool where the deepest is 8 feet, and you have to be properly equipped. So you have to get scuba tank and all them type of things to go. Scuba tank with mask for 8 feet pool. That is what Leonard McCushion is alleged to have said in the report. I'm using the term carefully, alleged to have said, because we have seen the report. Are you telling me this man is not a fake? You telling me that this man is not a charlatan? And here, this thing where the man start off, going back to this, what they release again. They say, Canadian investigator lauds quality of police work done by the police force, says there is no evidence of foul play in the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young. Right? And this man is making this statement. This man, what they say, because they call him, well, they call him, the police refer to as a distinguished retired investigator. He can make such a statement without the benefit of the postmortem report, because the report was released, the final postmortem report, on the 27th of April. And before that date, because he did not beat out already, he's making a statement to say there's no evidence of foul play in the death. He ain't got the benefit of the final report yet, you know, and he's making such a statement. And you all telling me this is not a con man? This man was here what Jack Dio said. That guy got a lot of stupid people and decide, well, I'm going to come and make a little money. Right? This got to be. Then they go on to say, Mr. Leonard McCushion, the distinguished retired Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they're not put the rank this time. investigator who came to Guyana to investigate. Hey, what they're saying, buddy, I tell you, let her talk, let her write. He came to Guyana to investigate the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, as praised the Guyana Police Force for work done. He expressed the quality of work done by the Guyana Police Force. In a report submitted by Mr. McCushion, he pointed out that for the purpose of his investigation, he was given about, over 400 pages of documents and a quantity of digital forensic evidence in various formats. So he come to investigate, and his investigation was limited to being provided with over 400 pages of document. Let me tell you something. When you read these things, you know, 400 pages. So it would appear as though he sat in this lavish hotel room with air conditioning and sort of thing, go through these 400 pages, see whatever documents, he said he got digital and forensic evidence, and that was it. That was it. That is the extent of this investigation. Yes, Dan, they say in the initial thing, I got it here, I'm going to bring it up on the next day, they say he came to assist in the investigation. But the man is saying that his assistance, if you can call it that, was limited to him being provided with 400 pages of documents. 400 pages of documents. Then he goes on to say, McCushion reveals that after reviewing all of the material, quote, it is very apparent to me that members who investigated this incident took the utmost time and consideration and considerable effort to speak to any and all persons that had any information to provide relative to the incident. Who are these people? Who are these people that he said he spoke with? CC, come on, man. I got a call coming through here. I want to take it. Come on.
Yeah. Let me get back to where you talk about you gotta be properly trained and equipment to search the pool. The deepest 8 feet. I talk about it on the last episode where my 11-year-old grandson, same age as Adriano, he's on to swimming, he on to cricket, to all kind of games. And he went there to swim. And after the session, when the coach finished with them, I went by the 6 feet section of the pool and I threw him a bunch of keys in the pool. I said, where's the key? But he said, grandfather, what's it there down there? Look, I seen it at the bottom. And I said, go and get it. And this 11-year-old dive in, and in lab time, he bring up the keys. So they're searching for keys, you know. They're searching for what they want to feel, the body of an 11-year-old. And they have to get equipment. They have to be properly trained. Yeah, we have to be properly trained for that. No way, no way. You key, you seen a bunch of key at the bottom of the 6 feet. Well, I know about 8. 8 might be different. But you seen it, and a youngster, a 11-year-old could dive in there and go and pick it up. Huh? So what were they telling me? And then they want to mention that the investigator was everyone called. He say you got to be properly trained and got equipment. No way, no way, Paul.
Thanks for holding on, my brother. Here, let me tell you something. Yeah, share this life, man. I got more to talk about. With this man. Hear what this man said. They said the man said in the next paragraph. The man said the facts surrounding a great deal of care in documenting the movement of the body of Adriana Young after she was taken to the Lenore Cottage Hospital is exceptional and something I have not seen before. Hear what this charlatan is saying. This girl body was found at the Doubleday Hotel at Tushan on the east bank of Essequibo. And this can man telling us about the facts surrounding a great deal of care in documenting the movement of the body of Adriana Young after she was taken to the Lenora Cottage Hospital. Is that she died? I'm asking this. That girl, let me give them a little benefit. I am saying she was murdered at the Doubleday. All right. They are saying that the body was recovered. They're not disputing that. at the double day, 9 something or something in the morning. And this man starting to talk about the body when it went to the hospital. What happened when the body was recovered at the scene of the double day? Are you not supposed to comment on the action taken there and then? Why was the body removed so hurriedly by the police to take it to the cottage hospital in the back of some police vehicle? Standard practice, if you are a trained investigator, you ought to know that standard investigative practice is that the body has to be left in situ, as we say, right there and then. Accordance should be established. The medical examiner and the forensic photographers would have come, take copious photographs. The examiner would have done a preliminary investigation there and then. And if that had been done, this thing about catwool in nose and all of those things would have been resolved. Yeah, they say we big, but we ain't stupid. This man come to tell me, but when the body, well, read back this thing. And these dunces we get in the police force, corporate communication unit, can come to tell us they're releasing this as a man thing. He said that the court in here, you know, the facts surrounding a great deal of care in documenting the movement of the body of Adriana Young after she was taken to the Lenora Hospital is exceptional and something I have not seen before. Well, body that because of the blind. And a miracle happened, and you regain your sight. And a better miracle in that you get money for come and cut Guyanese. Not me. I mean, it's me money you take, but you get better miracle. After you regain your sight, you get money. The best deal I show you must you get in your whole life. You come, all expense paid. Because I show they would have fly you business class. You come, they would have put you up at some, I think based on the interview you had with Dr. Todd, maybe you were staying at the Marriott, all expense paid. They would have provided vehicle for bringing from the airport and carry you wherever they, well, once they bring you from the airport or once they brought you from the airport, the only internal movement you get is to go on butterfly, let me do the butterfly. You know this song? Byron Lee and the Dragon is butterfly. Because you've been there. You understand? You've been there. Butterfly. You don't have to move around. They don't have to carry you to the scene. So based on what they're telling us, you never went to the crime scene or the incident scene, as they are inclined to say. You never went there. You sat in the hotel, air-conditioned room. Maybe even now you pick your car room service. You get where you got to get. Are you telling people that this nonsense that is something that you have never seen before? Body, you started to talk about this body from the Lenora Cottage Hospital. How did it get there? How did the body get to Lenora Cottage Hospital? Are you telling us about all of the false statements made by the police? At least that is not released by the police. Perhaps you have it in the report, but we have not been able to see the report. So what we are going on here now is what the police tell me that you said. And I know you're there in Canada, you're going to be listening. You might want to understand. You might want to know, what is he saying? I really don't understand some of the language he's speaking. It's English, but broken up for the Guyanese counterpart can understand. And I'm sure you're going to understand too. I'm sure you're going to understand what we say. We say you're a cockman. We say you're a charlatan. We say you're a con man. To get a report like this. And again, we're saying, again, let me give you the benefit. Let me be a little kind to you. We have not seen your report. This is what the police said that you said. When we say said, we mean said. So we said the police said, you said. The police said that you said. That is what we're saying. And if it is indeed that you said this, Mr. McCushion, you are a cock. You are a fake. You are a charlatan. That is what we're saying here. I can't understand this thing here. McCushion, then he talk about the statements. So these people bring the statement from you. You sat down there, you review the statements, and then you talk about what we just call for the statement and so on, which is a normal part of the investigation. You take a statement from someone, and then based on how matters develop, you might have to take a further statement. And policemen, a further statement is just that. So a person gives a statement, and I might leave out what you believe are material facts. You don't discard that statement. You don't throw it away. You don't throw it away. You go and you take a further statement to say you get a date, same thing. John Jones further says. There's a further. He further says. So in addition to what he said before, he further says. Well, of course, that has its own problems when you come to court. Because it's them there, they want to know how you didn't remember the first. Oh, you have to come now and further say. Were you prompted? But I'm saying this because despite what this man said, we were policemen. We were police. Now them jokers you get now and get a clue of what is going on. I got more to talk about this thing, but let me bring in CC for get a little back in, man. CC, let me hear you. So continue, man. You must want a piece more of this.
Paul, I agree, when he said the work of the police was exceptional, Yeah, he's correct. Because it's exceptional because it wasn't keeping with best and international practice. Therefore, it is exceptional. But the more you read what I said, am I right? The more you baffle. And then I know the police putting into there's a story that they're saying what he ain't say. All them questions you gotta ask. But he say it's exceptional. I agree because what they did there was not in keeping with best and international practice.
Let me correct one of these two they say, man. You just like to dig a lot of people. The light one, I ain't digging at you, but just correcting you. You can't get 2 female police women. The light one is a mistake. But I get the opportunity to jab you, I'm going to jab you. You can't get 2 female police women. So you're suggesting they can get female policeman? And then little far, you're suggesting the light one that we can get 2 female policemen? There's something that's always ups their police when they used to write statement or talk about female police women. So what are you implying? What are you saying? That 2 female, the light one say it's 2 female police women. So may I know if you could see 2 female policemen. Maybe. How things going now? But how things going now? Maybe you're correct. Maybe, but I believe you made a mistake there. Maybe you made a mistake, right? But all of we can make mistake, man. All of us can make mistake. You said me correct. All right, man. All right. I know. I'm just taking a dig at you. I enjoy your interactions and so on. But now that I catch you and I got to stump you, man. I don't catch you often. So now that I catch this student lopsided, as you would say, I got to deal. I'm being wicked, the light one. Hope you don't take offense to that. Then he goes on to say, there's one Mr. McCushion, Leonard McCushion, retired member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. A man called me just now when I broke half. A man called me from Canada. A man said, Mr. Slow, that man must have been a bark laborer. The man must have been a bark laborer for write something like that. That's what somebody called me and tell me. I tell you, I can't take you on now. I'll come back. They call me back after 1 o'clock. Right? Colin, how you know there is redundancy for say female policewoman? How you know there is redundancy? How you know the man is correct? Have you examined those posts he's referring to? I'm being wicked. I'm being really wicked today. Have you examined them to know it's not a female policeman or a male policewoman or something? They have all of those categories now, you know. You got a doctor, you got a man who's a fake doctor, is a police now, you know. You got a man who is a fake doctor. Is a police. The man can all of them and turn police. I know if he can the police recruiters to turn police, but the man is a police now. Joined last week. I suspect by now the man is a sergeant here. I suspect by now the man wearing 3 stripes. Right? Watch it. I can monitor monitor his progress in the force. And anytime I look a picture like that should circulate widely. The kind of man might come to con people. Chisel Chipper, you said you enjoy yourself as a comedy. I hope you mean it in a good way. Now let me go on to McCushion. He said McCushion said it was also apparent that as new investigative information was gathered, further clarifying statements were obtained from witnesses or other people to ensure the accuracy and validity of the investigative file. We call that further statement, as I explained to you. So if you never saw a Ford statement before, I'm not surprised. But in the Guyana Police Force in my days, we refer to that as a Ford statement. Because you call them, what he said, here we saying, he said it was also apparent that as new investigative information was gathered, further clarification statements were obtained from the witnesses or other people to ensure the accuracy and validity of the investigative file. That is what he said. Yeah, just like each of us six. Right. Then he goes on to say here, overall, quote, overall, in my opinion, it is my opinion that members of the Guyana Police Force that conducted the investigation after the initial response did an exemplary job and should be commended for their efforts and diligence under very trying circumstances. They spoke to all of the witnesses who would cooperate with them and gathered all of the relevant information that was possible. They also made extensive efforts to speak to those witnesses who were not forthcoming. This man is no ordinary joker, you know. This man is no ordinary joker. And I agree with Carl, because I would have thought by now, and that is why I say repeatedly, even though I have a lot of people in the media, the real media, not them jokers parading as media operatives on social media, people in the real media, sometimes I'm disappointed with them, because I would have thought they would have approached the Canadian High Commission to get some information on this man who has done a lot to discredit the RCMP, of which they say he was a member. They would have gone, somebody would have fly over to Canada and gone to track down to see who this man really was, because a judge remarked in Canada in a case that he was involved in, this same McCushion, that he was a desk officer with little field experience. That's what the judge said. But they're telling me this man over 30 cases, and 30? Imagine you're supposed to be this big investigator, how many years you spend on 30 cases? 30 cases? And that qualifies you to be this big expert with, what the man they say, distinguished retired. Something is wrong. And then bring this thing to people, believe we can take it hook, line, and sinker. Right? They believe we can take it. Now, let me bring him, well, let me tell you all, first of all, this is no done as you like. If you grow up in the, if you grew up in the country like me, you know what I mean by that. This is no done as you like. Right? Let me use going back in the country. We ain't done in with this matter. We have more to talk about this statement, and I suspect in the coming days, you'll get more revelations. You'll get more revelation. Because as I've said now, the congressman has indicated this thing has gathered international attention. And we know that. And the international people have to make sure that pressures are brought to the government of Guyana. Because the U.S. ambassador to Guyana said, basically, they have not made any requests for help. She said so in a statement. She was actually implying all the Guyana government has to do is to write to the, through the channel, and they would be willing to have FBI come to assist in this investigation. Not assist in the manner that McCushion did, to sit in a hotel room and review 400 pages of statement and say that it is. Not that way. Let me bring him Mr. Conley for his closing, and then we're gonna deal with it. We're gonna deal with the way forward. CC, you're closing, my brother.
Okay, just before I close, they mentioned about weakness and other people. I wonder who are the other people? Weaknesses and other people. And then briefly, we talk about the response after the initial response. How could be excellent when they secure the place, when they didn't lock down the place? How it could be after the initial response they said the girl gone somewhere? It's mind-boggling. The more you listen to it, what they said is this Canadians, you know. Anyway, in my closing, I want to say when they're gonna do proper investigation in relation of allegation of fuel smuggling, allegations of drug smuggling, particularly cocaine, by ranks, including senior ranks at region number 1. particularly immaterial, immaterial coming out from immaterial, and immaterial is a border. And let me tell you about immaterial. Let me try to locate if you don't think that there's immaterial police station on the bank of the immaterial creek, and on the other bank there is a Venezuelan army outpost. Just a creek, a little creek you plunge and you're gonna cross, it separates Guyana from Venezuelan, and all the activities going on there. And what understand they get a standstill in relation to the financial irregularities committed in region number one. I ain't talking about the allegation, the financial irregularities, millions and millions of dollars in collaboration with people from the finance office. Understand they are the department that started it, and like they don't tools. Me know they get instructions, hey, don't go along the drain there. So more and more region number one is coming into focus for the wrong reasons. I know who is the commander there? A superintendent, I think the senior superintendent now named Ramano. Look out for more.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you much. Thank you. Now, I'm trying to find this comment made. The light one just said, he talked about the commission of inquiry. Look at here. He said, he always mentioned that my performance at the COI into the death threats of President Granger should be mandatory reading for the students. Please avail that at your convenience. Well, I have always made it available, you know. I have said to students, and I'm saying it again, if you want a copy of that report, I have the electronic version. Just send me your details. Send me your details, your name, and your email address, and I will send a copy of that report to you. I have sent it. A lot of people have made requests, and I've sent it to them. But anyone who wants to see that report, it's available, free of charge. Free of charge. Well, let me tell you all, you know, you got to get your therapy today, you know. Get your therapy. Listen to this one.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims.
You got something named like detector test, you know, it's called it polygraph. What if people polygraph these people who are telling all these packs of lies? Right? First time the man heard the word relationship. Relationship. And I told you all earlier about this rank who got transferred. The police rank. For shaking Ashuddin Mohammedan. You get them who been at the place here with PPP, inspector on the East Coast, rank in Georgetown Police. Nothing happened to them. And don't forget the squatter, the man who is squatting in the office of the commissioner. Remember, he took $8.5 million from Amir Ahmad? And remember what Jack Dio said about that? If you can't remember, let me play it.
And let me also make it clear here today that this government never sanctioned a policy where private individuals and businessmen could pay for the birthdays and weddings of policemen or other public officials. In fact, we think it's reprehensible. It's reprehensible. So that's all I'm going to say for today.
He was referring to the not allegation, because he can admit it, that he took $8.5 million from Amir Ahmad in an envelope. He said, I got his statement here, you know, in an envelope to finance the wedding of Calvin Brutus, right? He said when he sent the money with his personal assistant for pay, somebody left back. And that was returned to him to take care of incidentals. That is why he sent a statement. A commissioner, at the time he wasn't commissioner, he was sitting there squatting as a acting, carrying out, well, he was acting. Jagdio said that was reprehensible. And what happened? He was promoted to commissioner on the 19th of December last year. 19. And talking about promotions, I have made to understand that all the ranks who were promoted recently to inspector and above, on today like today, they have not received the letters of appointment. That is what was conveyed to me. They have not received the letters of appointment. Normally what happens? The letter of appointment, the police officer meets, police officer make the promotion, they will carry the list to the commissioner, and in the past, the commissioner would then get letters printed on police letterhead to distribute to all the people who are promoted from inspector right up to assistant commissioner. When we were the commissioner, we changed that. And we said, why would the police be issuing letters of promotion to the ranks? The letters should be issued by the Police Service Commission and the Police Service Commission letterhead. And we changed it to that. So we used to issue the letters directly. However, we understand no letters have been issued. I wonder if the government order was published. Because if the government order was not published, that means they ain't getting money. And you might say the letter is is not very significant because they would have had the order. But it is. It is something a man can frame and get there that you get appointed to a particular rank and so on. But up to now, they have not been issued with the letters of appointment. Maybe they don't know what to do. But if the deputy commissioners and the commissioner get the letter of appointment, because they too are required to get letter of appointment, even though all of them get the same date. So there's no seniority in the deputy commissioner's rank any longer, as it is now. All of them get promoted on the 19th of December, 2024. So all of them get the same date. Nobody's seen it to nobody. That is how incompetent these people are. And then they're going to sell out one trolls to do it. But as I've said, we're here to teach. And when the trolls come, and you come wrong side, we're going to knock you out. Ban! Don't come here, especially now in this political season, you come with political thing. I'm talking about political season. I'm still to hear or see that the president has made the proclamation, the required proclamation to dissolve parliament and therefore set the election machinery in place. We heard that the elections are going to be held on the 4th of September, but parliament has not been dissolved as yet. As far as I'm aware, they had parliament on Monday. So I don't know if you're going to hold elections and dissolve parliament. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. As I tell you all, I'm no legal man. I'm no constitutional expert, but I know that parliament got to be dissolved. And as far as I'm aware, I might be wrong, that you got to give at least 90 days before you can hold the election. So I don't know. Let's wait and see what will happen there. Folks, we have had a good morning. I appreciate your attendance. All for you to do now is make sure you make your contribution to the upkeep of this program. Even while you were speaking here, I received, I think, I'm sure how many, but a few contributions. So thank you very much for those who contribute. Thank those who have been contributing. And I said, if you can make it, man, these two geriatrics, give them a little blind. Give them a little thing so they can come. It costs us some money to come here and to be with you these days. Yeah. Again, Barled and others. I like picking Barled, the student Barled. Like picking the student. Today is Wednesday. We got some stuff left back. So we're going to come on Friday. We're promising to come Friday 4 o'clock. But stay tuned. Because Friday, I understand that there is a memorial service in Brooklyn, New York for Adriana Young. I think it will start at 6 o'clock. So therefore, if we come on Friday, I am planning for us to come on Friday. You might have to jump off a little early to give those who want to go to the memorial service the opportunity to do so. We don't want to interfere with that. So we're going to, well, we come in 3 times, not bad for 2 geriatric, 3 times in about the 4th or 5th consecutive week. We come in 3 times a week. But we got to bring you the information. We believe it is important for you to get the right, accurate, credible information. Tomorrow, you're going to hear Woman Bacchanal, Tanti Morley, the Oval, a lot of gaslighting, a lot of shit talking. You're going to hear other thing. So we're going to come and tell you the truth, the old truth, and nothing but the truth. As I told you earlier, we had a case where a policeman died. They said COVID, not COVID, sorry. They said dengue. So, and we learned over the past weeks and months that was in Borbis, they get dengue fever, People are dying. I understand it's not the first dengue death. So be careful. Be extremely careful. The roads are dangerous. Now you get dengue. And I suspect now with the rainy seasons on, there's more worries with all the mosquito than going to be breathing and all this everything. You have to be careful. Somebody told me they're going to hospital. All the bed, I got to compliment them. All the bed get mosquito net. Mosquito nets because of the same thing. So folks, as I said, God's willing, we're going to come 4 o'clock Friday afternoon for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.